Hello, greetings to everyone. It's me, Thales. You're watching my channel about English language. We have topics ranging from basic to advanced and what is included in my channel. You can browse my playlists and watch grammar videos, vocabulary, business English, and many other types of videos such as exercises, right? Preparation for exams. It's a wide variety, more than 700 videos available, so check it out, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to get the latest updates. Don't forget to share with your friends. Everything here in my channel is free of charge, of course. And we have available a complete English grammar course. So you just have to subscribe, or even if you don't subscribe, you can access my videos and browse my playlists. All right, basic videos have explanations in Portuguese, whereas intermediate advanced videos, they are English only. Well, today we will talk about a report I found on the internet. It's the read and talk about section, right? In which we choose an article, a text from the internet. So we talk about the topics covered in the article and improve our vocabulary as well in case I find a word I don't understand. Sometimes it happens, right? Because even if you are fluent in the language, every text you read for native speakers, sometimes you have some doubts, you don't know exactly what the word means, but reading the text, you understand the meaning. So this video is aimed at intermediate advanced speakers who have already a comprehensive understanding of the language. Going. I picked up some articles, and today we will talk about cost of living crisis. Yeah, we are in the middle of a pandemic, right? I guess everybody knows, but little by little, we are getting over it, right? People have already been vaccinating over time. I have I have had 3 shots, right? A complete cycle of Pfizer vaccine and a booster shot. I believe many people have already been vaccinated. But this is about cost of living, right? Cost of living, it's an opinion article, and I will give the link in the description of this video so you can read the entire article, because the article is very lengthy, okay? Maybe we won't have enough time in this video to cover the whole topic. Okay, cost of living crisis. No, this is a social emergency that will define who we are. So that's the main topic. Cost of living is the amount of money you take to make. You must have at least this amount of money to cover all your basic expenses. Expenses such as food and housing, right? Expenses such as electricity, education. Too many people remain outside the political conversation and vulnerable to the meanest kind of policies. Too many people remain outside. So many people, they don't understand what's going on, or maybe the political environment doesn't include them. So what's the political conversation about? Do they talk about people who are vulnerable, people who are poor, people who have little money, or maybe they don't even have a job? And the meanest kind of policies, what is meanest? Meanest is the harshest, the hardest ones, right? The ones that make their lives more difficult. Here we have a picture, illustration for the Guardian. Okay, so you know, this is about UK, right? So we are talking about, I don't know how to say this in English, I have to admit. I know it's the currency. Oh my God. Currency from UK. Pound sterling. Yeah, I forgot about it. It's very powerful. You know, if you want, I remember some time ago, I bought something from the UK and I saw this currency some time ago, some years. You know, did you know that 1 pound sterling equals 6.11 Brazilian real? That's a lot of money, don't you think? But it has been declining over time, you can see. Let's see in 1 year. Right? Look at look at how much it cost some time ago, let's say October 2021. You had to spend 7.81 reais to buy 1 pound sterling. Okay, pound sterling. Okay, Lexi lives in rural North Wales. Lexi is a woman, right? She is disabled and her husband recently lost his job in the building trade. Disabled, it means that she has some kind of disability. We don't know from here what kind of disability she has. Maybe she's blind, maybe she doesn't walk, maybe, I don't know. Mental disability, it may be any kind of disability, and it makes harder for her, for example, people who have disabilities, depending on how severe it is, it may make it difficult for them to fit in a job position, for example. But many people, they work, they perform well and they have no problems at all. So she is disabled and she has a husband. Her husband recently lost his job. It means he was dismissed, he was fired, and he used to work in the building trade. You know, we are reading this text together, so if I find something that I don't understand or word I don't know the meaning, I will look up in the internet, okay? The heating and hot water in the council house is oil-fired, and the price of 500 liters of fuel has just gone up from 235 pounds sterling to 480 sterlings. You see, the price more than doubled. You see, the price of fuel. Many houses, they use oil, they burn oil in order to have heating in the house. My house, for example, here is electricity based, and many people, they use gas, right? They use fuel, but it comes from gas. But here, the heating and hot water in the council house is oil fired. It means that it works by using oil. The price of fuel has more than doubled, right? It's extremely expensive. they have also just found out that their annual electricity costs are rising from 1,851.15 to 2,564.33. I always mention in my videos from basic and basic English, in which I explain Portuguese, that in English we use comma to separate the thousands, and we use dot as a separation of decimals, right? So it works that way. You know, imagine to have an electricity costs like this. In reais, it would be, wow, it would be outrageous. It would be about 13,000 reais. Of course, we can't directly compare the costs. You know, cost of living, when you compare other countries, it's kind of complicated because here we earn in reais. And for example, when you travel to the US or travel to Europe, you have to buy their currency. And of course, it's more expensive for us to spend that kind of money. But remember, they earn in pound sterlings there. So their relation with the cost of living is different. But if they came to live in Brazil instead, let's suppose that they retire, right? They have a retirement and they decide to come to South America to live here. If they earn in pound sterlings, it will be much cheaper for them to live here. On the other hand, it would be impossible for me to retire here, earn in reais, and to have a retirement in the US. It would be much more expensive. Okay, so what's shown here is that their cost of living is increasing, and the text is giving some examples of how the cost increase is impacting their lives. Their 4 sons are aged from 8 to 18. 4 sons. Yeah, each son you have impacts significantly in your cost of living. They have not put their home's radiators on since last November. I first wrote about Lexi, not her real name, but the one she has used to write diary entries for a research project called COVID Realities in January. Okay, so the woman in this example, in this article, she's not called Lexi, and she has she takes part in a research project. It is called COVID Realities, and she writes every day diary entries for a research project. I want to ask you a question, since we are having a conversation here. I'm not listening to you thinking or speaking out loud. How has COVID-19 impacted your earnings? Do you still have a job? Do you find it easier or more difficult to find a job? How much you have spent, right, recently? Do you think your cost of living increased over the years? Are you happy with your job? Well, I could talk about myself. Of course, COVID-19 has impacted everyone's lives. For me, the biggest, the largest impact is that I'm working from home rather than going to the office, but soon enough I will have a hybrid model in which I will have to go there twice a week, and I can work 3 days from home. But some business models, they don't allow people to work. For example, if you work in a restaurant, it's impossible to work from home. And depending, if you work with services in which you need to interact with people, doctors can be, depending on the situation, they can work from home. Psychologists, you can have appointments through the internet. It's trending now. I guess some time ago, when I used to have psychologist sections, I had some section, I had the possibility of having sessions from home, but I don't think, yeah, it's better. Psychiatrist, for example, I still go there to have my my appointment with a psychiatrist monthly or twice every 2 months, I guess. I still go there, but if he gave me the option, it would be perfectly doable to do it from home, right? We use WhatsApp video, Zoom, Teams, whatever. Okay, so she is writing for this project. Around 10 days ago, we had another conversation. She talked about squeezing multiple meals from the cheapest of ingredients. What does it mean to squeeze? To squeeze, it means to make it tighter, right? It means to squeeze something like this. You have to squeeze everything from it. Multiple means meals. Meals is, for example, lunch, dinner, breakfast, from the cheapest of ingredients. So she tried to make the most of the cheapest of the ingredients because she had little money. She had somehow managed to get 5 dinners out of a bag of 11 frozen chicken pieces. So she had to make it last, right? Because I believe she had little money to spend. Washing with hot water boiled on the stove, and the endless financial traps that she and her family now have to try to somehow avoid. Okay. So, when you have to wash with hot water to clean, right? To get rid of all bacteria and to make sure that it's disease free or make it more healthy. And she boiled the water on the stove, right? Because as we read here, the price of heating and hot water more than doubled, right, of her family. So she had to search alternatives. And financial traps are things that people fall into, and it makes their financial situation worse, and they try to avoid. Everyone must avoid financial traps. Lexi has a mobility vehicle provided as part of her disability benefits. Okay, so she has benefits from, she earns some money from disability benefits. Maybe the government maybe pays her for that, and she has a mobility vehicle. So we may imply here that she has some difficult, some movement and disability. But the soaring cost of diesel means it has to be mostly used for the school run. diesel, gasoline. In the last few weeks, we have been watching the Ukraine-Russia war. The price of crude oil has skyrocketed over the last few months, and it impacts our lives. Even here in Brazil, we had a soaring increase of these costs. Of late, her husband has been offered a few job interviews, but found that the impossible cost of travel has ruled them out. Okay, so her husband has been looking for some jobs lately, and he had some job interviews. But the cost of travel has ruled them out. Many people, they work far from home, right? They live downtown, or for example, they work downtown and they live many miles from downtown. And the cost of transportation, sometimes it's very expensive depending on the region, depending on the distance, and it ruled them out. Even the interviewer dismisses some candidates because they prefer people who live nearby. It's a possibility. We don't know exactly what's the problem. Local public transport is thin on the ground. What does it mean? It means that he has few options of public transportation. And anyway, the nearest bus stop is 2 miles from the house. Yeah, 2 miles, it's very far. Do you know how? I know it's more than I know it's more than 2 kilometers. 1 mile equals 1.60 kilometers. 2 miles, 3 kilometers. It's not that far, but imagine you have to walk every single day. Every single day that you go to work and go back to work, you have to walk 3 kilometers to get to the bus stop. It's not get to work. If you walked 3 kilometers to go to work, maybe, no, it's not that far. But to walk there in order to wait for a bus, oh my God. Depending on the situation, I don't know how difficult it is to them. Visits to the supermarket have to be carefully rationed, but that means buying basic goods from the local convenience store where everything is more expensive. Okay, I have some questions for you to think about. What's your favorite means of transportation to go to work? Or maybe you are unemployed, maybe you don't have a job yet, maybe you're a teenager. I don't know what your situation is. Do you prefer to work from home, or do you prefer to go to the office every day? How far is your office from your workplace, from the your office from home? And not just how far, how long does it take you to get to work? Because sometimes the distance is not that far. You know, the distance in some situations it's not very far, it's average distance, but the traffic jam is heavy, right? You have the traffic is heavy there, and it makes it more difficult for you to get to work fast. You have to think carefully about it. Do you drive? I don't drive. When I go to work, I get the subway. Yeah. Subway is more predictable. I could say that. Much more predictable. And you get there very fast. Unless there's some technical problem and then the subway stops functioning, stops working for some reason. Yeah, it can be pretty bad. But in general, we don't have many problems here. At least where I live. Anyway. What about the supermarket? How often do you go to the supermarket? I would say I never go to the supermarket. Yes, I live alone here. And every time I need to eat, I ordered it online. Yeah. So I buy every food I have here is bought. I don't cook here in my house. I even have a stove, and I used to have some the gas pipes work here, but I cut it off because I don't use it anymore, so I no longer pay for the gas. My shower is fueled by electricity, so anyway, I have no use to pay for gas. What about you? How often do you go to the supermarket? Do you like to go there? It's often crowded. I can't remember the last time I went to the supermarket. Sometimes I go to the convenience store. I have to pay more for that. Sometimes I go to buy some vegetables. No, not vegetables, fruit. I buy candies, bread, whatever. When I want to eat something, right, to have some snacks during the afternoon. Okay, let's go back to the text here. Lexi worries most, she says, about her youngest child who has asthma. His coughing fits are sometimes so bad that he vomits. Oh my God, Jesus. It's because he's cold, she told me. I know it is, but there is nothing I can do. I can't pull heat out of the air. Okay, so remember that I said that her cause of electricity, not electricity, heat. Her house uses oil for heat, and she can't afford it anymore. So if the air is cold, he has difficult to breathe. It becomes more difficult, and she can't do anything about it because she can't pull heat out of the air. The kind of want and hurt Lexi's families are suffering may sound as if it places them on the edges of society. But the truth is that there are millions of British people like them, and those numbers are increasing fast. So what is saying here? The situation that is exposed here about their desires, what they need, the difficulties, the hurdles they are facing, it's not just their problem. It's not as if they were on the edge of society. No, not just them. The truth is, millions of British people face the same situation as them. And you know, poverty is not about just about developed nations like British, US, anyway. Here in Brazil, we have faced worse problems than that. And the numbers of people who depend on the benefits from the government is increasing here in Brazil as well. So that's why I asked you about your financial situation to think about it in English, right? Because the purpose here is to explore the ideas in English so that you can think about it in English, you can explore, have some arguments about it, and talk to people about it. That's it. Our start metric is the UK's level of absolute poverty, which is defined as being a household income less than 60% of the median income level of 2010 and 11 adjusted for inflation. So here, what is absolute poverty by UK's standards? Here it says that it's a household income less than 60% of the median income level. Income level is the level of money, right? How much money you earn, adjusted for inflations. A measure that usually goes up only in times of recession. And here in Brazil, the figures have gone up as well. I have read some articles, some internet articles lately about it. The Resolution Foundation forecasts that over the next year, the fall in real incomes means that another 1.3 million people in the UK, including 500,000 children, will be pushed into this category, taking the total number to 12.5 million people. So you see how many people in the UK live over absolute poverty level. Here it says the total number is 12.5 million. How many people are there in the UK? I want to know. I don't know what the population is. 67.1 million people. So you see, it's a considerable number. 1 in 5 people in the UK are below poverty levels. Yeah. And 1.3 million people are being pushed. It means that they weren't originally from this category. Maybe they were from middle class and the family unit lost their jobs for some reason. Anyway. Okay. We will leave this video as it is. I guess we had some conversation about it. The article, of course, is much larger than we are talking about here. I will leave the link of the article for you to read and to think about it, to build your own ideas, to search for vocabulary you don't know. That's basically how we learn English. I learn English every day. By reading articles, by watching videos. So you have to read, to write, to speak, to listen. Although I don't write in English for a long time, but I try to practice speaking by making these videos so I can help myself and help other people as well. Anyway, that's it. See you again soon in another video. Bye bye.